The first time I made a water wheel, it was functional, as in it could spin, sometimes, but the gearbox wasn't exactly reliable and it didn't really produce that much electricity. And so the plan was to make 3 improvements for the new design, by firstly just making everything bigger, from the diameter to the size of paddles. Then I improved the gear system by not using a gear system at all, instead using a belt and pulley system, which allows for a little bit of movement. And finally, I improved the electrical system by actually putting a load on this thing, just a small phone charger, as well as a little screen that displays how much power this thing's actually creating. But my first task was to go buy some wood. And this thing does produce some really nice cuts, and the initial frame was looking really good, if not a bit patriotic. But thankfully this spare decking board meant I could make some pretty large paddles, roughly 50 centimetres wide. Which is actually quite good because I can kind of make the paddles as wide as possible without really changing anything else. And I'm kind of hoping the grooves on the board help catch the water, although that seems a little bit too hopeful. And then once all of these paddles were placed into place, you can kind of get a sense of the scale of this thing, which is almost impressive, with the only thing that's actually been kept the same between the 2 versions is the fairly simple design, as all of these spokes are just screwed to a central board, which then has a hole cut into it for a shaft. Although my options for an axle were rather limited. And although, granted, a wooden axle doesn't seem great, I did need a way to attach a pulley system, and I found from when I made my 3-phase generator that a bike wheel works quite well as a large pulley. So I stole a wheel from an old bike, cut the axle flush, then drilled a hole into it so I could thread the actual shaft for the wheel through the other axle, if that makes sense. Which seemed just strong enough, which is all I needed. And the way that I actually connected the bike wheel to the axle was by screwing through the spokes onto this little wooden key, which, if I'm honest, felt horrible. I just couldn't really think of another way of doing it. And from here I can kind of give a rough idea of how everything's going to work, with the actual water wheel itself and the bike wheel on the same axis fixed together. Then a belt from an old lawnmower will sit in the groove of the bike wheel and be connected to the generator, which I can roughly demonstrate with the one I made myself. And anyway, to actually finish the wheel, I had to make sure that the 2 sets of spokes were adequately spaced out, so that once all of the paddles were screwed together, the actual wheel itself was finished. And at this point you can really see the difference in size between the first and second version, with the first only really having a diameter of roughly 75 centimetres, whereas this version 2 is closer to 150. And same with the paddles. Although they're not that much deeper, they're twice as wide, more than doubling the surface area. And this new wheel does look and feel quite good. It's relatively strong. And I don't really have much concerns about this wheel breaking or failing. The frame, on the other hand, that's what I'm concerned about. You see, the first version had quite a brutalist design, with just 2 slabs of wood bolted together. With the whole idea being it's just heavy, which didn't really work when I realised it's just still wood and it floated down the river. I had to set big stones on top of it to stop it floating away. And then I thought, why not just design it around that? And so this new A-frame design was specifically made with these large feet for big stones to be just placed on, so hopefully this thing doesn't just float away. And after an initial indoor, very dry run, the frame looked rather solid, although this is on a flat surface without a drop of water in sight. I doubt it'll fare this well in the river. And then all that was left to do was add the electronics, which first meant taking the generator off the wind turbine, then dismantling it, and inspecting the damage and the wear done to the copper coils, then doing absolutely nothing about it before reattaching everything, including the old base with a new pulley attachment, with everything then just mounted on a little shelf I made in the A-frame. And after an initial test in which everything actually looked quite good, there wasn't much more I could do on dry land. And after my first attempt of putting a water wheel in a river, I learnt there's definitely a nuance to this placement. You want relatively flat ground with a good depth of water and a high flow rate, which can usually be found, and like in this case, on the corner or the outside of a corner on the river. And although in its current position the depth of the water is maybe 30 centimetres at most, it was actually quite surprising how difficult it was to set these A-frames in position. But after genuinely about an hour of fighting with the river and the largest stones I could find, everything was set in place. And so it should start spinning. But it didn't. Turns out the flat ground I'd found wasn't. And it only really must have been just millimetres away, as I could lift up one side of the frame and it would spin quite well. But when I put it back down, it just completely stopped again. And my only real option was to just move the wheel into a deeper section of the river. Which, if I'm honest, was even more of a hassle than just putting it in the first place. And my other issue was this deeper section was just one entire slope, so when I finally got the A-frame set up, the wheel was at quite an angle. I then had to just wedge stones under one side of the frame to try and even it out, and eventually I did manage to get something that was relatively level. Although, at this point I should probably mention that I've not put bearings on this. And I kind of knew this wasn't going to be great, but I put bearings in my last design and they seized after a day. And so this time, I didn't bother. And setting everything up did take longer than I was expecting, so much so that I would have to go home and come back the next day. But I just want you to just take note of the water level and know that I didn't move the water wheel. Turns out there'd been quite a lot of rain. And if I'm honest, I'm just thankful it was still there. And more water should sound like a good thing. But the rotation somehow was just a lot slower. Which is really annoying because the place I had it before looks really good. It's just a nice looking stream. Which, if I'm honest, was too tempting not to move everything back. Although it did have its difficulties. But it was definitely worth it. This thing spins a lot faster than I was expecting, and it's just all wood. And then I added the wheel, the motor and the pulley, as well as the electronics, which, if I'm honest, could have been secured a little bit better. There's a lot of faith put in this red tape. But it did seem to work. And this thing was actually producing electricity. So I decided to add this phone, which was just perilously balanced on the rest of the electronics. But the real challenge was to see if the water wheel could add any charge. But unfortunately, this thing wasn't able to do it. It still doesn't really produce any amps. And for some reason, the motor wouldn't rotate constantly. It would spin for a little bit, but then stop. It was like it would lose tension, but then regain it, which is kind of odd. I'm assuming it's got something to do with the fact that the wheels probably weren't perfectly aligned, but it's something to fix for the next version.